first memory kind of within the Tulsa Corps actually starts back at Princeton, back at New Jersey, when I found out I was in and I contacted Monica Friedman. And we both got together and I was literally like trying to convince her to come and telling her it was going to be great, even though I had no idea anything about Tulsa, Oklahoma. I was scared myself. And then later I find out that she told me she accepted, and when she accepted, she assumed Tulsa for the first time was in Arizona. She's like, so I'm going to Arizona, it won't be that bad. And then I think it was a huge check for her to be like, actually, it's Oklahoma. And I just totally relate to that because, and I think a lot of us do, our Corps, even relative to the 2010 Corps, truly had no idea what to expect here. You know, tornadoes, but I thought it was going to be like a desert town. And I think we were all very pleasantly surprised with the culture in Tulsa, with the diversity. And I think actually not knowing what to expect brought us closer together in a more intense and a quicker way than if we were in another region.
My first memory and one of the most profound was when we were at induction and we heard the Kipster singing in the Williams building. And it was just a very overwhelming time for me as I thought, like, wow, these are our kids, these are the students that we will be responsible for in the coming weeks. And to just realize the power behind that moment with all 80-some of us Corps members.
I remember our mosaic, I guess you would call it, on the floor that we were on at St. John's. We had a large poster saying Tulsa and all the different things that symbolize Tulsa. And just our chants throughout the summers too. Everybody was ready for Tulsa to be done with Institute.
If I had one word to describe the Tulsa 2009 Corps, it would be intense.
Unified.
Determined.
Dedicated.
The word I would use to describe the 2009 Corps is ridiculous.
The word that probably describes the 2009 Corps is dissatisfied. Dissatisfied is not a bad thing though, because I think if we were satisfied with where we are, or where the education system is, or the level that our students are coming into our grades or our classes with, we would not be pushing ourselves as hard as we do it every single day. And if we really have that sense of dissatisfaction, that's what pushes us every single day. We go on the weekends as frustrated and upset as we might be, or feel as though we're not making an impact. We are. And it's that level of trying to push yourself further. That level of like, okay, that lesson wasn't as good, I need to improve. Or my management kind of sucked today, how am I going to improve that? That's what's going to lead to actual impactful change.
Yeah, when I think about legacy of the Corps, I really think about organizational sustainability in Tulsa. And that's really important to me as an elementary teacher, because I think of my kids, 9 and 10 years old, and I wonder, when I'm not here anymore, what will happen to them? And I would really like to believe that they'll have a teacher who is committed as I was to them, one who was as determined to see them succeed and as caring as I was to all of them. And really, I truly have felt that way and had those concerns. I want this organization to thrive here because I want to know that Daisha and Tybreesha and Carl are all going to have the opportunity to have a great education in Tulsa Public Schools.
It's important, especially for the 2009 Charter Corps, to give back, because before we were even here, there was no Teach for America, and what would it say of our 2 years if we did not give back?
I think it's very important that we start to think about giving back to TFA, especially with about 2 months, or maybe 11 weeks, not like anybody's actually counting. But I think it's easy to think, well, we've given so much money to our classroom, we've bought so many different prizes for our kids, bought so many new pencils, do I really need to give another $25? And it's not so much that amount of money, because if we don't show that we're willing to invest not only in our own kids, but in future generations, in future classrooms, and Corps members that eventually come back to Tulsa, we're saying that we're not as invested as we could be. We've been given so many opportunities and so much from our different benefactors and different groups that have given to us. Now's our chance to say, not only was it worth it to give it to us, but we're going to give something back even more.
When you talk about an alumni giving campaign, it goes hand in hand with sustainability. And it's really an incredible opportunity for a Corps member to give back to the organization, first of all. Maybe this little bit of help that I can provide will make sure that, you know, there is another teacher at my school next year, or there is another teacher that one of my students will have in the future. You know, just a little help, and I think it can go a long way if we all work together.
I have to say I was approached by someone on the Giving campaign, and she knows who she is. And she said to me, so like $25? And my first thought was, $25? You want me to give $25? Ask me again and I'm gonna punch you in the face. You know how much money I've given to my classroom already? And then I didn't say that, but I stopped and I listened to her politely, and I was like, okay, you're making some good points, all right, like, you're right, we need to show donors that as a core we are just as committed to our cause and to Teach for America as you guys are. If you're willing to give us all this money, we should be able to give just a little bit. What it comes down to is that Teach for America is bringing 70, 80, 150 dedicated, passionate, hardworking, and I think most importantly loving and caring people to our kids in Tulsa. And if for nothing else, I will give $25 to ensure that we have another group of loving and caring and dedicated people who are willing to dedicate a huge chunk of their time and energy to our kids here. And so for nothing else, sure, I'll give $25 to make sure that, you know, we have another set of dedicated teachers in Tulsa.